The following video was recorded on location in my state-of-the-art office in the corner of my first floor apartment. If you like what you're about to hear, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell in the upper right corner.
Hey Josh, it's Rex. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for taking the time to interview us and have the interest in the band.
Likewise. Thank you for taking the time to do the interview.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, well, awesome. Well, of course, we're here to talk about everything that's going on in the world of Uncured right now. I mean, you guys have taken off like a wildfire right now with some amazing touring that you've done already this year, and so much more that's coming up this year as well. So many great touring opportunities, and all in promotion of the brand new album Medua, which, of course, is available now.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are... So we just got off of our first tour with Katatonia, as you may know, and that was directly after the release of Medua, which was our first full-length album, and that came out a couple months ago. And up next, we have a tour with Devildriver, and then following that, we're going to be going out with Children of Bodom. So those are about 1 to 2 months each. So we are psyched to get out on the road with both of those bands.
Yeah, how does that feel? I mean, with just releasing your debut album back in March, I mean, how does it feel to be a part of like 3 gigantic North American tours like that?
Well, we've been very honored to be on tour with great bands like the ones that we've been on and that we're going to be on. And it's great to be able to connect with their fans that start to like our music, and then also people that are fans of Uncured out on those tours. So it's been a great experience so far with the Katatonia tour, and we cannot wait to do it again on the Devildriver and Children of Bodom tour.
So for those that may not be familiar, since you are really starting to get your name out there now, how did Uncured begin?
Well, Uncured is a progressive death metal band. We're a 4-piece, right? I'm Rex Cox. I am a vocalist and a guitarist. My brother, Zach, is also a vocalist and a guitarist. We have Liam Manley, a drummer from Portland, Oregon, playing drums for us. And then on bass, to round out the lineup, we have John Kita, former guitarist of Diecast. So, Uncured has been getting great reception thus far. And, we're very happy with how everybody's been reacting to the new album and the sound of the band as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of them. When it was brought to my attention from the Katatonia tour, I first discovered you guys, and I just really love the sound that you guys are doing off. I mean, it's definitely very much my style of the technical and progressive death metal. I mean, having all those elements that are so reminiscent in the genres, but being able to show off those melodies and harmonies and really making everything stick out amongst other styles.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what we're going for, and we've been happy to see how many people it's clicking with.
So with that, I mean, like with the diversity of the band alone in the sound, I mean, how does it feel like going from something like Katatonia to opening for Devildriver to opening for Children of Bodom? I mean, the 3 very different, distinct bands.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, that's one of the things that we want to be able to accomplish with our music is being able to play with a wide variety of bands. And I mean, you as you just said, Katatonia is on one side of the spectrum. Very light melodic or very light melodic, I would say kind of more Gothenburg metal. And then Devildriver is just, super heavy, brutal, like American groove metal. So one thing with Uncured that has been serving us very well is our ability to play with both. And, since we can play with both, that's something that's very lucky for us because we can appeal to both sets of fans by changing the setup a little bit,
Yeah, I mean, and that's the great thing about like being able to start off so fresh and be able to hit all these different territories, because you're not going to get pigeonholed when you're like this. You're going to be able to keep going out and make the music that you want to make rather than feeling like you have to be stuck in one particular style.
Yeah, that's actually another thing that we were conscious of when we were writing and in the studio, because a lot of the decisions in terms of the way the song, you write the song prior to going into the studio, obviously, but there's a lot of decisions that you make once you're in the studio that structure the way the song feels and the song progresses. With with different track layers, and that's one thing that we were very aware of because we knew that we wanted to be able to play with a lighter band like Katatonia and then a much heavier band, like Devildriver. And so yeah, we made sure to have well, obviously we like the melodic portions as much as we love the super heavy portions, and that's something that's worked very well for us in the music, and then also that translated very well into tours.
So with that, having just concluded the tour with Katatonia just a couple months back, what was the reception from the fan base? Or from the crowds from those shows?
Well, the reception has been great from those shows, and there were lots of fans there that were more inclined to like the softer, lighter side, right? And we did appeal to those fans with Devildriver, but yeah, the reception was great all around, and we always hang out by our merch booth after we play our show to talk to the fans, and we talked to hundreds and hundreds of people on the tour, and it was great to hear what they liked about the band, and to hear that they were digging the new sound that we have.
Yeah, and it's such a great sound too. I mean, just having the experience of getting the album and really being able to digest it over the last couple months. I mean, it's such a great style that I feel really needs to be represented more. Not, like being ambitious, but not feeling like it's like narcissistic in any way. It's just like writing the music that you guys feel should naturally be laid out. And I imagine in a live aspect, that's going to come off really well.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people, in my experience, the band doesn't 100% click for them until they see it live. So Uncured, even though we put a ton of effort into the studio album, and we know that needs to be incredibly pristine yet heavy, the main feature of the band, or Uncured, is primarily a live act, and it makes the most sense for the most people when they see it live, because they can kind of witness the heaviness mixed in with the melodic portions as it's happening. So that's what kind of explains it for most people, the live show.
Yeah, and that's definitely a great way to look about it. I mean, having a recorded piece is a great thing to be able to promote, get on record, and show off what you're capable of, but there's no better way to do that than to actually go out and play live and give those sounds justice.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we've been lucky to have those tours, that tour under our belt, and Devildriver coming up. So yeah, we're very excited for all of that.
So with having that opportunity of opening for Katatonia on your first run, what did you learn the most from that touring experience that you can apply to the upcoming touring for the rest of the year?
Well, being on tour with Katatonia was, like I said, great experience, because that was our first North American tour, debut album. So that was a lot of what we learned was just all the aspects of touring, and so that means that going into the Devildriver tour, we're not going to be it's not going to be our first time out, and we will be much more experienced on the road, and we're looking forward to meeting all of the Devildriver fans, and that's going to be a very different crowd for us, which we're all very excited to get in front of, because that's the heavy crowd is much more of where I think Uncured will shine, even though it can appeal to both.
Yeah, and that's the other great thing about having Children of Bodom towards the end of the year as well. I mean, really capturing that heaviness and a little bit more of the mainstream kind of feel too, since Children of Bodom has a lot of crossover appeal, and with Carach Angren as well, with the more symphonic black metal sound. I mean, it's really cool to see that you guys are so adaptable, and you have the songs ready for the particular tours, and being able to just really pull those off live and not feel like anything's being hindered, and you get to just be yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And the Children of Bodom, in my opinion, is the best fit for Uncured, just because they have a lot of guitar-focused things, and Uncured has a lot of solos and a lot of guitar focus, even though that's not the primary focus of the band. But I think that's something that's going to work very well for us on the Children of Bodom tour, especially with Alexi being such a great guitarist.
Yeah, and I definitely think that benefits you guys as well, having the Katatonia tour a couple months back and coming up with Devildriver. I mean, being able to show off both of those sides where it's not a perfect fit, but it matches enough to where it really makes sense. So when you go into the Children of Bodom tour, you guys will just absolutely be on fire and be able to really fit in with everything that's going on.
Yeah, thank you. And I would say that even though musically you wouldn't necessarily think that the bands are totally compatible, all of the fans definitely, it's just because because you like a softer melodic sound doesn't mean that you're confined to only liking that. And a lot of Katatonia fans are also Opeth fans, which they like the heavier stuff. But yeah, so we were happy to see that had that crossed over.
Oh yeah, I mean, like the early days of Katatonia, I mean, it was more of that straight up gothic doom death metal that was going on, and then like later in their career, they were able to get more into the melodic and now more of the progressive gothic rock that's going on. So yeah, I mean, with that gothic sound of like with Katatonia and Opeth, that really opened the doors for experimentation in metal, and it's great to see that it can have an effect here in America with bands like not being afraid of trying different things, combining ideas, and just making the music that you want to make. And when you're able to do that, you're able to go out on such these great tours and make such a huge impact.
Yeah, exactly. And those were obviously two bands that we looked up to just in terms of their ability to try different things musically. And we don't think that we necessarily sound like exactly like Opeth or Katatonia, even though their writing philosophies definitely carry over into a lot of ours.
Yeah, and speaking of that, of course, you guys are still riding very high with Medusa right now, the debut album from Uncured. How much has all of this experience now affected the way that you guys are looking at the next album?
Well, we are actually already working on material for the next album, and currently we have lots of ideas and like half songs that still need to be progressed, obviously. But playing live and learning how parts transition live and translate to the crowd live has been definitely a great experience because obviously what we want to accomplish is being a live band, and having songs that hit super hard live is what's most important. And so we are thinking about incorporating more slower tempos. That's kind of part of the reason why Stygian Pit was such a crowd favorite, because just the tempo variation. And a lot of times variation in songs, I think, is what makes them stand out to fans. And so that's what we're aspiring towards.
Yeah, and I definitely think that's the best way to go about it, too. I mean, when you just focus on one style, one kind of tempo, whatever the case is, then there's not going to be much variation in the songwriting outside of, like, solos or something like that. But when you are able to get those tempo changes, the dynamics, genre changes, all of those going on, it makes all of those parts stand out more, and it'll make the overall song stand out more.
Yeah, exactly. We actually this week had released a new single. I don't know if you had a chance to hear it, but it's called Stygian Valley, and it's a 4-minute song, so it's actually our shortest song, and it is essentially Stygian Pit with vocals, but it's a different version of the song, and that's my personal favorite Uncured song up to this point. But that'll give you an idea as to a little bit more of what the new material will sound like.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I mean, I just got familiar with the album so far, so knowing that there is a reworked version of that with Stygian Valley, I'm definitely going to be looking that up after we get done talking here and being able to digest that, so I can look forward to see what you guys have coming up in the future.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that.
Not a problem. So, with being relatively new to being able to tour across America like this on such great tours and stuff like that, what have you learned on the road as far as like the different music scenes and the cities and stuff like that around here?
Well, when we are on tour, it's there's a lot of very long drives, so the ability to experience different places in the United States is a little bit difficult, just because we load in gear, set up at the venue, we play, we talk to the fans, and then we have to get to the next location. But we have had some time to experience the different music scenes across America, and that's been a great experience, especially to talk to all the different people. And we played a couple shows in Canada as well, 4 or 5, and just the reception in each of those places. All the people had different elements they liked about it, but it was great to talk to everybody.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity when you are able to travel across North America like that, hitting Canada, hitting America, and hitting all these places that you never would have thought you'd be playing in a band with, let alone being able to just visit and explore. And when you are able to hit all these different venues and see fellow metalheads going to a show to see you play, to go to see Katatonia and be blown away with what you guys are doing. I mean, it's really cool to see all these different things happening, and you just can't get those experiences that often outside of being a touring musician like that.
Yeah, that's right, and obviously what we started the band is out of the love for the music, but all of those ancillary benefits are just great additions and benefits along the way that we get to experience different places and meet different people. So that's just been a blessing that comes along with it.
So when it came into the again with the touring aspects, again like with Katatonia a couple months back, and prepping up now for Devildriver, and then after that with Children of Bodom, when you do have those opening slots, what have you learned the most from getting the crowd warmed up for the rest of the night?
So a lot of times the crowds don't know what to expect from the band when we first walk on stage if they haven't heard the band, and as far as warming up the crowd goes, we've seen a lot of people starting the show not sure what to expect and not necessarily sure if they're going to like it. We have a very clean look as a band, so we don't seem as if we're going to be a progressive death metal act, but once we start playing, we can slowly start to see people's their body language change and their facial expressions change as we play, and they start to open up to the band, and by the end the whole crowd is warmed up, and it definitely, people are surprised and impressed with the band, and ready for they're very warmed up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be one of the best feelings out there. I mean, it's one thing to be able to release your material online, put up a single on YouTube, and be able to get fans that way, or hear about a tour announcement and they hear a name that they're not familiar with and they go and check them out and kind of like what they hear in anticipation for the night. But there's got to be no better feeling than the people who have no idea what to expect and just being blown away and loving what they're hearing from you guys. I mean, not knowing what really to expect, not really checking you guys out, but just by the end of the set becoming a full-blown fan.
Yeah, that is definitely a great feeling to see certain people starting off with their arms crossed, and then by the end being open to the band, and then by the time we're done playing, being a fan and talking to us at the merch booth and stuff like that. That's always a great feeling.
Yeah, and you get so many great opportunities with that this year alone. I mean, I imagine when 2018 comes around and you guys have 3 North American tours under your belt, that the stage shows are just going to get even tighter than they are now. The songwriting is going to get even tighter, and things are just going to keep getting bigger and better from here on out.
Yeah, definitely, and we are, we're excited for the future, and we're excited by the prospect of new tours, and then so we're actually hoping to, in the future, after the Bodom tour, we're thinking we're going to be out for in 2018 February and March, probably one tour, 2 months, and then after that we're hoping to get on the festival circuit for 2018.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be a great approach for you guys, getting all that touring under your belts and then going for the festival circuit as well, because I mean, with you guys having such a broad range of influences that fans can really pick something that they really enjoy from your guys' sound, being able to hit the festival circuits and having all different bands of shapes and sizes being able to check you out and being able to get those experiences like that, I definitely think that's a great way to go about it.
Yeah, and we actually are going to be playing a festival this summer on the Devildriver tour. It's the Michigan Metal Fest, and we are the fourth band, so the first band on the main stage. I think we go on at 8 o'clock or something, which is one of the best slots. So we're all super excited for that, and we think that's going to be one of the highlights of the tour.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, being one of the first times, if not the first time, you getting to do an experience like that and getting to play in such a pristine time slot too. I mean, with you guys having your A game going on and being able to put on the best set possible, I think you're going to win over a lot of people with that show.
Yeah, thank you. We hope so.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so very much for taking the time to talk to me about everything that's going on with Uncured right now. It's so awesome to see the success that you guys are getting right now with all these great touring opportunities. The album Medua, which of course is available now, doing so very well, and people just being overwhelmed with what they're hearing. I know I definitely am. I mean, I just love the sound that you guys are pulling off, and it just sounds exactly what I want to hear in 2017. And the fact that you guys are able to adapt to all these situations and being able to be very professional and be able to keep going out there like this. I mean, I expect nothing but the best from you guys, and I just hope that keeps going for you.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate that a lot, and we are very excited to get back out there, and we hope to meet you in person at a show sometime. That would be great.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know you guys are hitting up Minneapolis I think on both tours, both the Devildriver and Children of Bodom. So I definitely want to try to make it out.
So,
yeah. So I definitely want to try to make it out and be able to experience this live.
Oh yeah, that would be great, and thank you for taking the time to interview me and take an interest in the band.
Oh, very much so. Before we wrap things up, is there anything else you'd like to mention that I haven't brought up yet?
I guess I would just say thank you to everybody who listened to this and checked it out. And if you haven't heard the new album, it's out on Spotify. The new single just came out this week, and we hope to see everybody at a show sometime and meet you guys.